we're able to be creative. We've got Jay Shetty joining. What's
Hey,
up, dude?
how's it going, Zach? Good to see
I
you.
love it. Thanks for doing this, man. I see so many books behind you. You're an avid reader, aren't you?
I love reading, man. Yeah, I'm a big fan. It took me a while to realize I was, but thank you so much for doing this, man. I'm excited to be with you.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think a lot of people know who you are. We got a ton of questions for you, but will you kind of just give everyone a little brief journey, because you've had quite an incredible journey of when you started or before, what you kind of got into, how you got into motivational speaking and to where you are now online with your presence.
Yeah, for sure. So I was born and raised in London, and I was interested in everything that a teenager is interested in London. And I ended up actually meeting a monk when I was 18 years old, and this like completely switched my trajectory. So I thought I was going to go and work in business or in like the corporate streets of London. And I ended up trading all of that when I graduated from college to go and live as a monk for 3 years. And so for 3 years, I was spending half the day in silence and meditation and doing a lot of self-awareness work. And we'd spend the rest of it building a sustainable village or food distribution programs and trying to do service in the world. So I traveled the world in India, Europe, and England at that time as a monk. I shaved my head, I wore robes, I slept on the floor. We meditated for about 8 hours a day. And so I did that for 3 years. And then for the past 3 to 4 years online, when I started creating content, I was trying to share everything I learned as a monk, but in a way that was accessible and entertaining and insightful for everyone else out there who wanted to understand their mind a little bit better and try and find some peace and calm in their day.
Where was that monastery?
So the monastery is about 2 hours outside of Mumbai. So I don't know if you've ever visited India, actually. I'm not sure. Yeah, so I was in 2 hours outside of Mumbai. It's a place called Palghar, Palghar. And
Okay.
so I was out there for my time in India. And then we also traveled across Europe. So we did a lot of backpacking across Sweden, Norway, and a couple of other places to try and share meditation.
How did you choose the monastery in that city?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was introduced to a monk from that monastery. So when I was 18 and I was going to hear celebrities, entrepreneurs, influencers speak, the monk who came to speak at my university, his name was Gaurangadas, that was the monastery he was from. So
Okay.
he was the monk I knew and met. And so I started spending all my summer holidays and vacations with him at that monastery. So when I graduated, that became the natural place for me to go and spend my time.
Was it a natural progression to you saying, I'm going to become a monk and go off and do this? Like when you graduated, you knew that was happening, or was there like this radical, like what made you decide that? Because that's a pretty radical decision.
Yeah, so it was a thought in my head since I was 18, but from 18 to age 22, when I actually became a monk and I was at university, college at that time, I was still doing everything that's not monk-like. So I had relationships, I was out with friends, I was, doing everything. And so, but it was in the back of my mind. And then literally 6 months before I graduated, I was like, no, I've got to do this. This is going to be my decision. I'm going to make it happen. I remember rejecting my corporate offers, job offers that I had at that time, sending in them, telling them that I decided to turn down their offer. And so I wouldn't say it was drastic or radical in my mind. But to some people who may not have known me for that whole time, it would have felt like, whoa, like what? I can't believe you're actually going through with this. So I told my parents when I was like 18, I'm going to become a monk. They didn't believe me until 22 when I actually did it.
What do you have to give up when you became a monk at that monastery?
Yeah, so what you give up is, so you live a vegetarian diet. I'd become vegetarian anyway, so I grew up eating meat, but I'd given up meat a long time before that. So you become vegetarian, no intoxication, so no alcohol, no drugs, no sex. So I was celibate for 3 years, and no gambling. So those are like the rough practices. You have to commit to doing a minimum of the morning meditations that everyone does. So we wake up at 4 a.m. So you have to wake up at 4 a.m. every single day. And morning prayers start at 4:30 and they run till 8:30 in the morning. So that you have to commit to as well.
How many people? I feel like I would just be sitting there at 4:30 in the morning. Like, is it meditation? Are your eyes shut? Like, could you get away with sleeping, or is that? Did that ever
you know what?
happen?
I'm not gonna lie, Zach. I fell asleep plenty of mornings. There were plenty of mornings where I was sitting there, leaning, with my back against a wall, falling asleep. And there were a few that I missed too, right? Like there were a couple of times when I didn't make it either. So they're very they're very encouraging. They're very supportive. You know, it's a tough move for a lot of people, especially like me, who haven't grown up in that background. And so, yeah, it wasn't a fearful environment.
That kind of touches on, I have a bunch of questions for at the end, but I'll jump into one here, which is from Char_Tron. What's your morning routine? So are you a morning person?
I'm a big morning person. I still love the morning. So I wake up at about 6 a.m. every single day, at least around, I'd say probably around 5 days a week. I usually try and lie in a couple of days on the weekends, but I wake up at about 6 a.m. every day. I meditate from about 6:15 to 8:15 every single morning. So that's about 2 hours of meditation, which has been my daily practice for the last 14 years. And then I go to the gym. So 8:15 to 9 a.m. I'm usually working out. So I'm either at the gym or going for a run or a hike or whatever it may be. And then 9 a.m. is usually when I eat breakfast and then start the rest of my day. So that's my morning routine every single day. And that includes things like, you know, I find time to maybe read for about 30 minutes a day. I try and listen to a podcast for about 15 to 20 minutes a day. But those are things that are interchangeable. Whereas that kind of 3 hours in the morning, that's always the same.
The format doesn't change.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to jump into a Would You Rather game. I've got a bunch of images here, and we're just going to get to know you a little bit better. So would you rather go on a tour with Oprah or do a TED Talk?
Oh, these are good. These are good. Okay. Are you going to make these happen when I answer them?
You only get to do one.
No, but are you going to make them happen?
Am I going to make them happen magically? Maybe.
I would say I'm going to choose Oprah. Oprah's been a big inspiration of mine for years. So Oprah.
Yeah, nice. Okay, what about this one? This is, would you rather be a master of every instrument? So immediately, snap of a finger, you know every instrument, you can play it amazing. Or snap of a finger, you can know every single language and speak fluently and understand.
My past would have said music. My today would say languages, because I do so much speaking across the world. And I really wish that I could communicate with my I have such a global audience. So yeah, speaking.
Yeah. And you're probably at a lot of events where you have a translator, and it's that you like feel like you have to talk slower, and it kind of changes the talk. Okay, what about
and I'm terrible at
live a life without music or live a life without TV screens?
I would say live a life without music. I can appreciate silence a lot, but I love movies. I actually love movies.
What's your, like, some latest movies that you enjoyed? Did you watch a lot during quarantine?
Yeah, I've watched a ton during quarantine. I watched a lot of old movies too. So I found this movie, Tom Hanks movie called Saving Mr. Banks. It's based on the life of Walt Disney. Yeah, it's so good. I can't believe I missed it. I've been doing an Avengers marathon with my wife because I love the Avengers. So been doing a full marathon on that. What else have I been watching?
Ooh, that jumps into a question, actually. So Rohiath_A asked, what Avenger would you want to be? I wonder, you must have posted about it because there was a lot of Avengers questions.
Yes. So I actually, it's very easy for me, and my keyring tells it all. So I have this on my keyring.
Oh, it's Thor.
No, it's Thor.
Amazing.
It's Thor's hammer. So I pretend to just stand there like this, but my keys don't find me. But yeah, my keys are on. So yeah, I'd say Thor.
Have you seen the YouTube video? Have you seen the YouTube video of the scientist who made a Thor's hammer? It was amazing. The electromagnetic one.
So good. So good.
Here's another one. So take a year and you could travel the world, see as many places as you want, or take a year off and only go to one location for that year. Are you visit a bunch of places or a single place?
I would say I travel a lot for work anyway, so I'd say single place.
Okay.
Single place, being able to dedicate some time there.
Where do you have an idea where you'd go if you had to kind of, it almost seems like it would be like a retreat for you.
Yeah. So me and my wife go back to the monastery I used to live in every single year. So we spend about 3 weeks back in the monastery I lived in. Monks. We usually go about December, January time. So we went this year. But our next trip, we've been talking about it. We were talking about it yesterday. We were like, we think we want to go to Bali. Neither of us have ever been to Bali. And so that's the next place on our list to visit.
Nice. I love it. My wife and I were on a show called The Amazing Race, and we had, I won't give a spoiler, but a unique experience in Bali. Beautiful place, though. Okay, do you think you're more likely to teach a master class or host a talk show? What would you rather do? And it's kind of hard because you're even though it might not be formally called a talk show, like you do host something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if I was to do a show, I don't think it would be a talk show. So I'm going to go with masterclass.
Nice.
I'm going to go with masterclass. Yeah, these are good questions, man. I'm impressed. Very well tailored. Very well.
Okay. You've written a book. So would you rather have the honor of winning a Pulitzer Prize, but you also have a show which, you know, a lot of YouTube shows are being nominated for Emmys now.
Yeah.
So would you rather, to you, is it more important to win an Emmy or a Pulitzer Prize?
I would say the Emmy. I'd say the Emmy.
Nice.
I
Are
think.
you a are
Go
you a
on.
big awards guy? Like, do you set goals like that? Where like I want to win, probably not an Oscar for you, but like, or how do awards
I,
fit in goals?
I've never. No, I'll be honest. And I've got a few of the awards that I've won in the past in the back here, but awards have never been the goal for me. So it's never been like that's the goal for me. It's like the goal's always been like, how do I write the best book ever, or for me, or like how do I create the best video ever or the best show ever? Because I really believe that when you get addicted and obsessed with the process, then the result's kind of like a natural byproduct of it. As opposed to if I get obsessed with the award, I could end up not creating the best product. And I mean, that's why I'm such a big fan of your videos, man. Like your content is just, you know, the reason why you're so successful across all your platforms is your content just wins. And whether you win any awards or not, I don't think it matters. Your content's just that good. And I
Maybe
think
I'll
that's
get
why you
some sort of maybe when years after I die, when the Oscars are awarding old YouTube content, kind of like they gave a bunch of honorary awards to, I think it was like Disney and some of the legends. Maybe that would be the dream, winning one after I die.
maybe.
Okay, so would you rather give up your podcast or give up your YouTube page?
Oh God, they're
This is
so
a hard one because,
interconnected. They're so interconnected.
like, where's your favorite place to connect with your audience?
Where are we? I would choose.
I lost you briefly there.